Sometimes it becomes a problem for me to stand in one place, and this is why I'm trying to get a microphone out of where it was. As my friend and colleague have just said, I'm Paul Ruseabagina. I'm the real life behind the movie Hotel Rwanda that many of you, or a few of you, because I do not know, have seen. And Hotel Rwanda is a true story. And in 30 minutes, I'll be telling you the real life behind the movie you have seen. But before telling you the real life behind the movie, I would like, first of all, to give you a short background of Rwanda and Rwandans, because for sure, many of you do not know anything about Rwanda and the region. In Rwanda, we are three ethnic groups. We are Hutus, 85%. We are Tutsis, 14%. And also Batwa, or Twas, as they say in short, who are just 1%. All of these people speak the same language. All of these people share the same culture. And we have been mixing, in most cases, since ages. For instance, I'll give you an example myself. My own parents got married in 1938, 70 years ago. And one was a Hutu, another one was a Tutsi. Then, what were the relationships between Hutus and Tutsis? The relationships have ever been a kind of tension, unequal. There has never been any equality between both ethnic groups. Many times, we blame colonizers, which is not always true. Because when colonizers came to Rwanda, Rwanda was already divided. Hutus that time were slaves to Tutsis. Then, colonizers who came in an already divided society took advantage and divided us much more for themselves to conquer. When they divided us much more for themselves to conquer, the result was that the majority Hutus now said, no, we are not ready to be ruled forever by a minority of 14%. During the independence era then, in the early 60s and late 50s, 1959, Rwanda got independence through what was then called the 1959 Hutu Revolution. The disaster at that time was that when Hutus took over, Tutsis fled the country. And those Tutsis who fled the country then are the ones who, jobless, living in camps, had nothing else to do, and then joined what was then called the Eastern and Southern Africa liberation movements. They started fighting in rebellions, such as in countries like Uganda. By 1959, they helped to overthrow one of the most known dictators of Uganda, Idi Amin Dada. They were not satisfied because they did not get what they wanted. By 1981, they went back to the jungle and restarted again fighting. By 1986, they brought to power President Museveni of Uganda, who is the president of Uganda today. Then this was so clear then that the next target was Rwanda, their own country. Then 1990, a war broke out. Uganda, the Ugandan army invaded Rwanda. But these people who for 30 years had been living in exile, when they started fighting, unfortunately, they also started killing Hutu civilians on the mountains of northern and eastern Rwanda, Byumba and Ruhengeri provinces. They started inviting men for meetings, killing them, recruiting young Hutus in their army and also killing them. This created a heavy tension between Hutus and Tutsis. I'm telling you this because sometimes people think that a genocide or something like that just breaks out from nowhere and comes just like that and it goes like that. This is not the price. This is not how it happens. Then this creates the killings of Hutu civilians in other zones occupied by the Tutsi rebels created a Hutu exodus. All the Hutus then started fleeing other zones being occupied by the Tutsi rebels. By 1993 late, early 1994, we had 1.2 million people displaced within Rwanda, surrounding the capital city of Kigali, coming to begging town every day, going to sleep outside in camps, in the open air, under the rains, under the sun, under the dust, and also suffering from all disasters from refugee or concentration camps. Then, to make things worse, you know, maybe some of you might know, but if you don't, Rwanda and Burundi are two twin countries. I told you that in Rwanda we are 85% of Hutus. In Burundi also, they are also 85% of Hutus. They are also 14% of Tutsis and 1% of Batwa, exactly the same thing. And we also speak the same language, which is called Kirundi in Burundi and Kinyarwanda in Rwanda. So we are the same people and we share even the same culture. Only we are two countries. But otherwise, we are the same people. So in Burundi, Burundi was ruled by Tutsis and Rwanda by Hutus. 1993, in June, a Hutu president was democratically elected by the people and killed by the Tutsi army of Burundi that on October 22nd, 1993. This complicated the whole situation. I told you that we had already 1.2 million people who had been displaced by fleeing the zones occupied by the Tutsi rebels. Now, this has created a kind of tension between both ethnic groups. And now, killing a new president democratically elected brought the tensions to a level of boiling, kind of. And then, when this was brought to the level of boiling, another Hutu president who took over in Burundi from that one who was killed on October 22nd was also killed in the same plane with the Rwandan president on April 6, 1994. Killing these two presidents together was just like pouring oil on a burning fire. When I talk about oil, for sure, Norwegians will understand me very well because I know there is some oil in this country. So it was just like pouring oil on a burning fire. Immediately, all of those people who had been living in camps for 4 years and many others, the followers, went down to the streets and took machetes and started chopping each and every human being, Hutus or Tutsis. They were just meeting on the streets. That was the beginning of a genocide. Since I have also to tell you a few of my experiences. You asked me where I was. All of you